I hope you could understand my point about popular books and yeah, why I'm still working on myself. Okay, welcome to this week's vlog. Yeah, I just starting the vlog now, even though you will have seen some footage already. It's Tuesday already. On Sunday you will have seen a little bit of footage from the walk we did with the dog. We did like a really long walk, like 2.5 hours or something like that with the dog. And then we just chilled the rest of the afternoon, which is why I haven't talked to you then. And yeah, yesterday I only read and then we went to the movies to see the Super Mario Brothers movie, which is fantastic if you want to know. If you love Nintendo and the Super Mario franchise, you need to watch that movie. That was really nice. Yeah, but so I'm only doing a check-in now, and also my battery's flashing, so hopefully I can get this check-in in and then recharge the batteries. But a little bit of a reading update. I finished Upgrade by Blake Crouch. I gave it 4 stars. I enjoyed the story and I enjoyed the book. I just think he has really interesting ideas when it comes to like the future and yeah, just really good sci-fi ideas, you know. And so yeah, I enjoyed it overall. Some things I found to be like a little bit weird, but nothing that really stood out to me. So yeah, and then with a little bit of a different reading update, Name of the Wind. I'm still not through. I will finish it tomorrow, I promise you, but yeah, I'm still missing like 130 pages. But I don't like it. I think it's really boring. I like the first 300 pages, the rest I still don't like. The book is picking up a little bit now towards the end, but yeah, that's just that. I don't know. I just don't like the kid or teenager our main character turned into. I think he's a really unpleasant being and his actions are really nonsensible a lot of the time, which really makes it hard to read. And yeah, so I still don't enjoy it really much. I'm really disappointed about it, and yeah, I still have 130 pages to read. But yeah, what can you do, right? You can't like every book. Which is also the topic about the video I just filmed, because I just filmed my Wednesday's video, which is going up tomorrow. I just have to edit it today somehow. But yeah, I just filmed that, which you will have seen as well a little bit of the footage. But yeah, hopefully I can edit it down to make sense, because it is like a talking video and sometimes I tend to lose my point. But yeah. So I was already kind of active this morning and did quite a bit. So yeah, I'm gonna relax now a little bit before going out with the dog again. Even though it isn't the greatest weather, so it might be a shorter walk. But yeah, I'm gonna chill a little bit. And I will definitely check in with you next once I've finished The Name of the Wind. And I can tell you what I thought of the ending. And yeah, probably I won't like it any more than I do now. But yeah, you can like every book, and yeah, it's just sad that I paid quite a bit for the edition that I own, and yeah, I'm not the fan. Okay, so yeah, I wanted to do a check-in earlier, but sadly my dog had problems with his stomach yesterday and tonight, so there wasn't a lot of sleeping and there was a lot of cleanup after the dog. He seems to be fine now. He just has a really, well, easily irritated stomach. I think it's partly because he's chronically ill and partly because he has his part shepherd, and especially German shepherds have problems with that. But yeah, so I didn't really get to check in earlier, you know, because it's now already evening, but we're gonna make the best of it. I first of all started a new audiobook yesterday, and the audiobook is called A History of What Comes Next by Sylvain Nouvel. It is the first book of a series where I by accident picked up the second book because it wasn't obvious that it was a series. So yeah, I decided to listen to the first one so I can read the second one physically then, and I'm still not sure if I like the series, and I'm like 20% into it. I'm still not sure about the book. It is pretty much about a kind of women who... Well, the woman more or less clones itself, but she has to get pregnant, but they are pretty much the same person, and they can only ever be 3 for a short time and then only 2. So you can always only have like a mother and a daughter, and once the daughter gets her own daughter, the grandmother has to die at some point because it somehow works that way. And they are incredibly intelligent when it comes to science, and also generally, but especially when it comes to science, and pretty much their agenda seems to be to get humanity to the stars, to get back to their own planet. Like it all kind of shines through really early on. But yeah, I still don't really know what to do with the book, because obviously it's like a lot of helping the one who's the furthest along, even though if that means supporting really bad people. And in this book, the first part, or the part where I'm at now, is set in the Second World War, which you can probably imagine that siding with someone from Germany at that point wasn't like a good person. And yeah, so I don't know if I like it or not. And all of the whole novel is pretty much narrated as like kind of journal entries. Sometimes from the mother, sometimes from the daughter of the current living pair, pretty much. But yeah, I think it's interesting. I'm just not sure about it yet. So I will continue with that one in a minute. And then I finally finished The Name of the Wind. I'm not impressed, I have to say it. I gave it 3 stars. Barely, just. I don't get the hype. I'm sorry, I just don't get it. But I think it also comes from hating book series where pretty much it only makes sense if you read all of the books. And this book is pretty much part of a bigger story. And it makes no sense to read it in itself because the second half is so boring and, well, at least in my opinion, it was very boring and inconsequential. And yeah, in the end, you would need to read the complete story to get like a satisfying story out of it. But why did this need to be 700 pages then? I don't get it. I loved the first 300 pages, didn't like the rest, the ending was And so yeah, we just barely reached 3 stars. To be honest, I wouldn't recommend reading it. I don't get why it has such good reviews. And also, I don't want to be mean, but the author in like the afterword talks about how he didn't want his fantasy world to seem too like movie-like or movie set-like. But for me, that is exactly how the book felt. And I don't know, I'm not impressed, I'm sorry. And yeah, I'm just glad that I finished it. Let's keep it at that. So yeah, I'm gonna pick a new book tomorrow. I probably won't reading anything else today. Or well, I might. We'll see in a minute. I haven't decided yet, to be honest. But yeah, that is how my reading has been going. I'm just really glad that I finished The Name of the Wind. I'm just so done with that book. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I have this really pretty cover, really pretty edition. Like, can't say anything against that. And also comes with like really nice illustrations. I love that. But yeah, I paid way too much for this book and it was really unnecessary because I will most likely not pick up part 2 because I don't have any interest in reading more from that author, to be honest, especially in the series. And yeah, even the person, I think it was the first afterword or the forward, was like, yeah, I had to read book 1 and 2 to like absolutely love it, which I think is a dumb thing. I think part 1 of the series should be able to stand alone in its story, and this one definitely can't, in my opinion. So yeah, I mean, obviously different people think differently. It's just a me problem with not... I just dislike series that I'm forced to read so that the books make sense, you know? Because sometimes I pick up a book from a series and just never continue with it, just because I like the one book, but I'm not necessarily interested in reading more from the same characters. It happens. And so yeah, I just don't like being forced to pick up the next book in a series. I don't like it. Okay, so it's check-in time. We have Thursday today, I think. Yeah. It's afternoon now, and I thought I would come down here and read a little bit, and then I remembered I hadn't done a check-in today, so I thought, why not do it now? First of all, I continued with my audiobook yesterday. I'm still not convinced on the book, to be honest. I think it's just a rather weird book from my perspective. I can't really tell you why, it's just that the book kind of feels lacking. And yeah, I don't know. I will have to tell you more once I'm further in. I think I have to be like right over half of the book, I think. I have to look it up, but yeah, sometimes there. And yeah, I'm not really sure I like it. And yeah, I will have to listen to more to see if it gets better or not. But yeah, I'm really sorry I can't tell you much about the book, but I think kind of everything is a spoiler you say about the book, but there's also not much happening in the book, so yeah, it's really weird. And then I picked up the next book on my TBR, which is The Center. That is a horror book about a medical center that is solely run by machines, and at some point people start dying that shouldn't die, and somebody has to go in and investigate. And yeah, it's already starting quite brutal, I would say, and yeah, it's really interesting up until now. I mean, I have already read like 50 pages. I did want to read more this morning, but the dog kept me up the half of the night because he was really like agitated, kind of like he just couldn't settle down for some reason, and so yeah, I was up for quite a bit of the night, so I didn't get that much sleep, and so I as I was reading this morning, I kept falling back asleep. So yeah, I'm gonna continue with this one now. But before that, we have a package to unpack. It is from Veryloot, but I have never gotten a package like this from them. But it should be my Brandon Sanderson books. So let's find out. Yes, these are my Brandon Sanderson books. Let's see. So yeah, here we have Words of Radiance, part 1. It is pretty much the same as the Way of Kings, just like with a different symbol and in red. So yeah, but they will look really, really pretty on my shelves with the other ones. So yeah, we have part 1, and then here we have part 2 with another different symbol, and yeah, I really like these editions. These remind me of like these really classical library hardcovers, if you know what I mean. And so yeah, I really love them. So I now have to start reading this. Well, not directly, I don't have the time for that now. I have still quite a few big books on my TBR. But yeah, once I'm done with that, I will probably pick up the first of these 2. Like, it comes in 2 copies, which I'm quite happy about, because imagine a book with that wide the hardcover would just crack everywhere, which would be really annoying, so I'm really happy. Yeah, these are really, really pretty. They are expensive, I have to say, and it is kind of my fault for doing that to myself, because now I feel obligated to continue to get these editions so that all of them look the same on my shelves, which was kind of a dumb move actually. But yeah, these, to get them to Germany is actually quite expensive if you like go from pounds to euros, and then you have to pay taxes on it, and yeah, shipping, it's up there. But I really like those editions, so yeah, I probably will continue to get them till I have the full set, which will also mean that is probably the timetable at which I read those books. But yeah, I'm happy that those have finally come. I really like those editions, and yeah, I will now read a little bit, and I will definitely check in with you later on how this book is continuing. We have like the first, well, we have one dead person, which is like a small child, which is really bad, to be honest. But I think it's just really interesting. So the book is from 1979, so I was 3 when the book came out. And yeah, so it's kind of funny because obviously we aren't living in a world where we have like medical centers completely run by machines. Probably for good reason. But yeah, this feels kind of sci-fi, only thinking that it's already in our past and that obviously things like that don't exist. But yeah, we have already the discussions of like, is it ethical to let machines operate on humans, because obviously they maybe won't get to the same decisions. And then we have like a lot of doctors discussing like failure rates and stuff like that. And yeah, I think that's actually kind of interesting. And so yeah, I'm really interested to see how the horror ramps up. Like we had the scene of the girl's death, you actually get to live through that, which is a thing. But yeah, I'm interested to see how that continues, and yeah, so I will continue with it now, and I will check in with you later, and we will probably finish the book tomorrow. It isn't too long, which I'm kind of happy about, because the rest of the books on my TBR are way too long. But yeah, what can you do? Fantasy tends to get long. Yeah, I will see you later. Okay, so it's check-in time. For multiple reasons. First of all, I did continue with the center. I'm now 115 pages into this book, so not quite halfway through, more like a third of the way through. And yeah, I think it's really interesting, to be honest. We have pretty much like 2 points of view. We have like one who is a woman who works for a company that has something to do with like medical equipment, and some of the data gets stolen, and she tries to kind of like find out what happened to the data. And then we have our main character, the doctor, who is kind of connected to this medical center, and yeah, he actually has like an incident at work, and he has then a hernia, I think, and he needs to be operated, and instead of like going to his colleagues and get operated by them, he goes to the center. And I'm so interested to see how it is going, because still there's not really that much, well, nobody really believes that the center is doing things wrong, because the center kind of tries to cover it up. Like, it seems to have a mind of its own. So yeah, the horror is still really mellow, I would say. Like, there isn't that much horror at the moment. It still feels more like a sci-fi story than anything else. So I'm kind of interested to see where it is going. And obviously there's unnecessary romance in this book. I'm so tired about that. I don't think... Well, at this point the romance isn't necessary. And it's kind of an insta-lovey romance, which I think is also weird, but yeah. I will have to live with that. Maybe at some point I can tolerate it, that would be fine. But you know, I just don't like romance, and it is way too much in books. But yeah. And my other point that I wanted to talk about is I will start rearranging my shelves. it isn't that long ago that I uploaded my bookshelf tour, so yeah, why not rearrange them? Now the problem is, and I thought about that simply because I showed you these ones, you know, and at the moment I have like my unread books and my read books separated in different bookshelves. But I feel so sad putting these in the unread shelf and not together with the ones I've already read. And it kind of makes me sad because obviously it looks way better if I can put them together. So I've decided I'm gonna put my books together again and don't separate between read and unread. I mean, I have my Goodreads list of unread books, so I should be able to find them between the read books. Just so I can put all of the books from the authors together. And then I also decided to separate by genre again, so by fantasy, horror, sci-fi, all of that. Well, at least where I have enough books of a genre. Obviously, for example, I have like some romance books, but they are like fantasy romance. I will put those to fantasy just because it doesn't make sense. I don't own enough romance to like make its own genre with that. But yeah, I've decided to do that because I'm just not happy with how my shelves are looking. Like staring at them for a long time, you know. At the beginning I was kind of happy, but I'm happy with how they look, but I'm not happy with separating the books just because I haven't read them yet. Kind of makes me sad. And as I'm not that fast at reading, I obviously won't get through those books really quickly, so I would have to put them there and then they would stand there so long in the unread shelf. So yeah, I want to, I don't know, kind of like sort them together again. So I will do that. That means also that I can do all of my German books on that wall again and all of my English books, well, most of my English books on that wall. I kind of like separating them, I don't know. I think it's kind of confusing if you have like English and German books like thrown together on a shelf. And since it's my organization, I can do what I want. But yeah, so I will start with that now and continue to listen to my audiobook. Maybe I can finish it. Let me look how far I am into it. Okay, so I'm 40% into A History of What Comes Next. So I will continue with that one. I have like 5 hours and 40 minutes left, so 3 to 3.5 hours of listening, so I might be able to finish tomorrow, which would be nice. Yeah, and then I can also tell you more about it tomorrow morning, but I will finish it tomorrow evening then, because I do tend to only listen to audiobooks in the evening. But yeah, I can give you more of like an opinion tomorrow, because I still don't have an opinion on the book, which is kind of annoying, but sometimes it just happens. So yeah, I will listen to that now. I will start rearranging. I might try to film a little bit of the rearranging, but my room isn't that big, so it's hard to like show you the full shelves. So I will look into that, how I can do that. But yeah, updates all around. Okay, quick check-in. I'm gonna take the opportunity that my camera is still set up because I just filmed Wednesday's video. I thought filming it today on the Friday will give me like a good while to edit it, so I don't have to scramble and edit it as fast as I can. But yeah, I'm glad I have that done. And yeah, I finished the book today. And I also found out what I didn't like about my audiobook. And I think I should have known sooner, but somehow I thought it was a sci-fi book. I'm gonna put the title here. I always forget it. It's something with history. But yeah, actually I think it's just historical fiction slightly altered with a sci-fi aspect in it. And that is why I don't like it. It's just, I don't know, don't get me wrong, you know, I think it's important to talk about historical stuff, but I'm so sick of hearing about Hitler and all of that stuff, Russian problems, you know, all of those dictators and bad people, and I'm sick of it. I don't enjoy reading about them, you know, I'm German, I have read a lot of them, I have read so much about it in school because we take this really seriously here. So you learn like a lot about it in school, and so personally I just don't need it in my reading. And yeah, obviously that is all over that book, and yeah, it's more like historical fiction, it's less sci-fi, it's like really little sci-fi. It's more like an alternative history to humanity, kind of. And yeah, that is why I don't really enjoy it. And I don't know, I think I'm like 70% through now. I will finish the book. I do own the second part physically, which kind of pains me, but yeah, I will probably also read that because I own it already, and those books aren't the biggest ones, so I think it works. But yeah, that is the reason why I'm not really liking the book, turns out. And also then, okay, and then I finished The Center this morning. I gave it 3.5 stars. I liked it. I think there isn't that much actually horror in here, which I think is fine. I think doing like medical thriller horror stuff can like go overboard really easily, like that you do way too much. I think it was kind of like, it was really good done when it comes to like the main story. I talked about not liking the like forced kind of romance stuff like this, like, oh, they saw each other one time and then they're like instantly in love. It works out, but I'm still not a big fan. You know, it's just like they have a good relationship and it works for the story, but I'm just never the biggest fan of that as like a plot vehicle. But yeah, I think it is kind of an interesting book. I would definitely recommend this if you can get a copy. Because I think it's just like such an interesting topic. I just think some parts of it were really weird. The conclusion came way too like abruptly, without any kind of hints to it, which was really weird. And yeah, in the end, turns out money is the evil and everything. Who would have thought? But yeah, 3.5 stars. I can't really complain about it, you know, it's just like a really, it's an okay book and I enjoyed reading it, even though I don't think it's like a really fantastic thing, you know. But yeah, that was my update. I will now pick out a new book, which I will probably start tomorrow morning, but I wanted to pick it out already, and yeah, let me show you what we are reading next. Okay, so because this one is on my list for way too long, we're gonna go with The Blade itself. I really like this book. Like the cover is really great. But yeah, I have no idea what this is about. I can read you the little information that is on the back, which says, a crippled bitter torturer, a dashing useless army officer, a berserker who no longer has a cause, and the bald old fraud of a magus who brings them all together. So yeah, it seems like a fantasy adventure of like really different people, so I'm really interested to see how this is. I think I read like the first 10 pages at some point. Not even, because I wanted to start it and then I never did, so yeah. That's gonna be the next one that I'm read. and hopefully I will get a chance, but will have to get a chance to check in with you tomorrow, because I need to end the vlog tomorrow. But yeah, hopefully I can give you a good reading update. We have quite a bit to do tomorrow, because obviously Saturday is always the day where we can like do our grocery shopping and all of that, you know. But yeah, I will now chill a little bit. I already had like a doctor's appointment today and stuff, so I had a lot to do today and I'm kind of done for the day, and yeah, I will see you tomorrow. It's now Saturday evening, as you can tell by the lighting. It's horrible, I'm sorry. I need to switch the lamp out that I have in there, but yeah, at some point I will do that. Let's talk about my reading. I finished History of What Comes Next. I couldn't give it more than 2 stars, simply because it is historical fiction. I don't enjoy it. I didn't realize that it was historical fiction, otherwise I wouldn't have picked it up, to be honest. I thought it was sci-fi. It is a kind of sci-fi book, but to be honest, it's more like an alternative history, including sci-fi aspects. So yeah, I didn't enjoy it. I think the sci-fi part will probably be more in the next books, so it might be worth picking up part 2. I don't know. If you've read the book, it's by Sylvia Novelle, A History of What Comes Next. And then the second one, I don't know right now. But yeah, it's easily found out. I'm gonna put the title here from the second one. If you've read them, maybe tell me if the sci-fi gets more, or there's more focus on the sci-fi and less on the historical fiction, so that I know if it's worth it for me to continue with that. But yeah, kind of a fail, but you know, you can't like every book, as I said in my, well, not last, but in last week's video. But yeah, then I started The Blade itself this morning. I'm 55 pages into it, so not that far, but I had a lot to do today, which is why I'm not that far into it. But yeah, this is all I wanted from The Name of the Wind. I just realized how much I like fantasy that like goes into it and really starts with a lot and then also delivers, because we have already, in like 55 pages, we have already like gotten to know like 3 characters a little bit. One's like out adventuring and has to fight already, and then we have another one who's like an oh god, what's the name? Well, he tortures people for a living to get information out of them, and he was also tortured by like the other kingdom, kind of, I don't know, I don't really know all of the well, background yet, you know, but yeah, he was also tortured and now he is torturing people. And then we have like a third person that is just like there but hasn't like that much background yet. But yeah, going in there's a lot of fantasy already. I'm really liking it, so yeah, I'm really looking forward to continuing with this one tomorrow. And then I picked up my next audiobook, because I do like to have one to listen to, especially since I need to continue with my shelves, because I'm still not done. But I'm gonna talk about that in a minute. But yeah, I decided to pick up Empire of the Vampire by J. Christoph, because I do own that physically, and it is a really large book. The audiobook is like 27 hours. So yeah, I decided to just pick that up as an audiobook, and then I can listen to that over the next 2 weeks or so, whatever long it takes me. Sorry, I had to let the dog in. Yeah, but however long that takes me to listen to, but yeah, I think it's a good way to like get through my bigger books, and I think I might enjoy that as an audiobook. So yeah, we're gonna see how that goes. But I will start with that now, because as you can see, these shelves are filled in again, and you will have seen my montage of like putting the books back in. But yeah, these are only my fantasy books, and then I have my sci-fi books on the bottom. I need to clean that shelf out because it or the German books, and there need to go my horror books in there. And then I have, let me show you. I have the left bookshelf. Those are all the rest of my English books, and then we have the smaller bookshelf, which are my German books. And the thing is, I tried to buy one more of those black bookshelves. It's like the Hemnes bookshelf from IKEA. Well, at least in Germany it's the Hemnes, but I think it's all over the world, that name. And yeah, it is impossible at the moment to really get one in Germany, because for some reason none of the IKEAs in Germany have it, so you can buy it in store. And if you want to like order it online, they charge you 55 euros to bring it to you, which is like 25 euros more than the last time I ordered something from IKEA. And to be honest, I just don't think that's worth it. So yeah, I'm trying to get one secondhand right now because that's obviously a lot cheaper and also better for the environment, so why not, you know? But yeah, that takes some time. So I will sort my books into the shelves, but probably I will have to leave some out because I do really need the second shelf, because I don't want to have 2 rows of books anymore. And I had that in my TBR shelf, and I just realized, like rearranging my books, how many books I had on my TBR shelf that I didn't remember I had on there. And so I never put them on a TBR to read because I just forgot they were there. And so yeah, I don't want that to happen again. So no more double stacking, but that means also that obviously I have less room on the shelves that I have at the moment. So yeah, I'm trying to get like a shelf secondhand, but that will take a little bit of time probably. But yeah, so that is the plan on that. And yeah, I will now listen to Empire of the Vampire and at least rearrange the rest of the books, or as much as I get done today. And yeah, then I will see you in the next vlog actually, because this is also the end of the vlog. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video. It's probably quite chaotic, but I try to make like a cohesive vlog out of it because I have a lot of footage for this week for some reason. But yeah, my reading this week was actually really interesting. It was a lot of like unsureness about the books, and actually I think none of them got more than 3 stars, so yeah. But yeah, I enjoyed the week, but I also didn't have to work, which was a bonus. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed the vlog, and hopefully I will see you in the next one. Maybe subscribe so you don't miss my videos. That would really mean the world to me, to be honest. And yeah, I will see you in the next one. Bye bye!